It's also a cause for lucrative incentives as well. Your bonuses, getting stuff like that. So that's a very good sign to see that we're already starting on the right foot today, getting that consolidation knocked out nice and tight. So very good job on that today. Shout outs yesterday. Revenue was $21,327 with a 402 overall. And then residential revenue was $19,685 with a 401 residential. So very good job. And that's also counting a job where we thought we had a book one for You Move Me. And it was actually a job for Josh, one of the owners. So we actually had I think we put a junk patrol into that, right?
Yes.
So that way it wasn't zeroed out. At least we put $50 in there for that junk patrol. But that was a very good job yesterday. Otherwise, they'd just be much higher. Shout outs also go to Roger and Jeff with the Huge Truck Plus. They only did one job yesterday, and that one job was $2K. I think they finished in less than 3 hours. Is that correct? Jeff? Roger?
Somebody top.
Jeff, how are you feeling after that job?
I was just tired.
Well, very good job knocking that out. And then we had Quinn and Zach with a truck plus of 1,196, and Javon and Donovan with a truck plus of 1,066. Jason, did you notice any other shout outs on second shift?
Yeah, second shift. So Patrick Rogers and Mason were at a very difficult job. Basically, they had to bag up everything. I asked Shane, I asked Trey, and then Jensen was another guy that went out there willingly to go out there and help them. Before those guys showed up, they didn't load up anything onto the truck for 3 hours, but these guys were able to go ahead and power through the basement. We're actually going back out there today to complete the rest of the job. So without those guys being out there, it would have been a hellfire situation for us going in today. But thank you guys for going out there and helping those guys.
I don't know if I saw this correctly or not. I think it's Jensen that did a Snapchat yesterday. Was Pat walking the dog?
Yeah, the customer kept asking Pat like every 20, 30 minutes to walk the freaking dog. The dog kept wanting to get out, and Patrick was like, "Oh, I'll walk it," and we kept walking the dog like around the block.
All right. A little above and beyond right there, right? Walking the dog, making sure the customer's happy, that's a good thing. All right, who else worked yesterday? Jesse, you were in yesterday. Any special shout outs? You notice? I think you were like two brand new guys, right?
Yeah.
Lars and Cody?
They, actually, yeah, both of them, they kicked ass yesterday. They didn't complain, powered through everything, got their golf pretty fast.
I do want to say, Cody and Lars not in here today, nothing but good things have been said about you guys. So I did want to give one more shout out for yesterday for Logan and Brendan. They got on site to where it was basically a boulder, a very heavy rock. The guy said he got quoted by College Hunks for 100. They were able to quote it for 129. It was a very, very heavy rock, so we had to send Joel. Joel couldn't even help lift it in. And then I went out there and I helped out as well. It took us a good 10 minutes to get it on the truck, but I want to give a big shout out to them for closing that job, and it was a very heavy boulder. Last but not least, we finally got this printed out. This is for Employee of the Month. You guys don't know. This guy had 42 promoters last month, a 472 AJS, a 92 MPS, and he did a total of 120 jobs last month. Roger Parks.
Speech!
Hey, but we do have a good-looking day today. Jason is dispatched.
Yep.
I am senior, so if we do get negotiations, go and cancel free, give me a call. We're going to work this together as a team because we got goals as a team. Does anyone know what our goal for month of August is? No one, right? All right, so, yes, Quinn.
Isn't it like 739?
No, that is like 900.
All right, so the way we do the goals, that's that way I'll explain it to you. From what I was always explaining to, we made $650K last year at this month, all right? $441, and I think 84 cents. We multiply that number by, from what I was told, is 1.25. But that goal is supposed to be 813K. Right? We are trending at 686 right now. For us to be number one, we got to hit our goals as a team, right? So when we go outside with closing jobs, we work together. Everyone understand that? I mean, I know everyone wants to have that 500 AJS all the time, but we always work together to have that team goal for 400 AJS. You ready for it?
When we're getting to negotiated jobs and things like that, it can be detrimental to how you feel for the day if you had to do a job for 200. But when the ops guys are negotiating those jobs, what do you think they take into consideration?
Sales per hour.
Sales per how long it takes. So the most important thing for you guys to learn is how long it takes to do a job. To be able to look at a job and know how long it takes. That way when you call ops, if you have a problem or a negotiation, you can tell them it's going to take 30 minutes. It's going to take an hour. You know, if we tell them it's going to take an hour and then it takes 2, they negotiated the price based on what you told them. So having that information is very important. And why that's important is how the bonus structure works. If you're above 85, you get 1%. If you're below 85, you get a lower percent, right? So knowing throughout the day, you need to make about $100 an hour to be productive and to get your multipliers, right? So, you know, if you look on the sheet there, you know, if you had a $1,000 day between 2 guys, a wingman will make 10, a certified leader will make 15, and a senior sales leader will make 40. So knowing that, you guys want to get to that next level, right? And that you're going to do that by doing the right thing on site, making that money the right way. You know, I'm not motivated by money as much as some people. I'm motivated by the way we make money. Does that make sense? Like, everybody has to have money. Money's important. But I'm motivated by making sure it's done the right way and sustainable for everybody in the room. That way, when you guys do a negotiated job at the end of the day and you're sitting at $1,600, you know, if you get to $1,800, look at the difference. You know, another $4, another what plus your hourly wage. I mean, if you turn down a job at the end of the day and it would have put you in the next multiplier, say you were at 1,800 and you would have got to $2,000, right? So for that last job, let's say that job took an hour, you're going to make $20 an hour to do that last job if it took an hour. Say you make more than that if it's less. So getting that from 1,750 to that next multiplier, or 1,800, is going to make you a lot of money. So knowing that, you know, if you're sitting at that 1,750, 1,800, I'm going to go do a job. I'm going to go make sure I get the most money I can on the job. And if it's a negotiated job, I'm going to try to get it done in a good amount of time. That way my revenue per hour is still up. I see a lot of sheets that's 55, 65. I know it's hot outside. But getting the money in a timely manner is just as important as getting the money. You guys, you know, your AJS, 464, 466, 502. I'm sure you guys had great days. But was your sales per hour above 85? You know, does that make sense? You know, if you did $2,000 in a day and your sales per hour was 55, you really didn't accomplish a lot because you're sitting $2,000, $15 instead of $30. You made half as much in profit share as you could have if you hit that multiplier. The bonus structure here is based on multipliers. It's getting more money. You know, when I was in the trucks, I may not have had the highest AJS. And not having the highest AJS isn't always important. Trying to be at standard is important. 398, 400. If you have a 400 AJS and you go out every day and hit $2,500, or you got a 560 AJS and you go out every day and hit $1,500, who's making more money? It's the guy that did more jobs. You're going to get more NPS scores, probably going to get more tips, and you're going to make more money in the long run. You know, if you go out and do one job and it takes all day, you saw one customer, you have one opportunity for a tip, one opportunity for an NPS score, and depending on how long the job takes, you're not going to get that. So being ready to do the jobs every time, no matter what it is, because that next job is going to get you another $5 an hour if it takes an hour, another $6 if it takes an hour. So, you know, you guys write down at the end of the day how much you made in an hour, whether it's $10 an hour, $20 an hour. There's guys that make $30 an hour some days because they get through the jobs, they take care of the customers, and they put that revenue, and they get their multipliers. Does that make sense to everybody? So always doing, you know, if you're a wingman and you want to be a certified leader, you do your training, and you make sure you're always going to say yes when they call you to do that last job. There was a job not too long ago that a guy didn't want to do, and you know how much money it cost him for an hour's worth of work? $60. Because he didn't want to go help out on the job and he missed another multiplier. Cost him $60 because he didn't want to, it was hot or he didn't feel like going and doing a hard job. But it cost him $60 for 1 hour worth of work. Who wants to make $60 an hour? I bet Josh does. I do. I want to make 60 bucks an hour. So think about that. If you guys aren't doing your profit share sheets as the day goes on, know where you stand, how much money, what your sales per hour is. You know, like I said, when I was in the trucks, I'd make $2 grand, $2,500 in a day. We didn't have quite as many jobs as we have now. You guys are getting great stuff. But I would always make sure that I hit my multipliers every day, no matter what it was. If I had to negotiate a job, I knew exactly how long it took, so I could tell ops this is where we're at. Then ops is gonna, their job is to help you get that multiplier. When they negotiate jobs, they're gonna look at it based on what you say. It takes an hour, okay? How much do you need to make in an hour to make it worthwhile? 200 bucks? $100 per person? That still makes us profitable and makes you have money, right? So when the ops is negotiating, they're not just thinking, okay, we're gonna do this job for X amount of dollars. We're gonna do this job based on what's gonna get you the most money into the next job and to make sure you get your multiplier, which is being above 85 and then hitting your revenue numbers. I printed these all out for you. I hope you guys take them with you because you can see throughout the day what you're gonna make. You know, your revenue standard. You know, being at 398 is important. Being above standard is important, but being profitable is the most important. Putting the most money on the truck, making sure when your truck's full, it's full. And that's what's gonna help with your sales per hour too. If you have a 3/4 full truck and they call and say, go to your next job and my truck's full. What do you think happens?
You lose money.
You lose money. How do you lose money?
You're just hemorrhaging your sales per hour. You spend at least an hour offloading the truck, if not longer.
Exactly. So my truck's 3/4 full, it's full, I'm gonna go to the dump. Depending on what dump it is, you have an hour wait, right? You just made $0 for a whole hour. And we had to pay the dump. But if you fill that truck up full, you already hit that 200 or 300 or 400 that you need in that truck if you're consolidating correctly and getting the most money out of each truck. That way when you go to the dump, you're not going 2 or 3 times, you're going 1 time. Because if you go 2 or 3 times in a day, I guarantee that it's probably almost 2 hours worth of your day that was spent dumping trucks, right? Now you get paid your hourly wage for that, but you don't get paid as much as if you were out doing jobs. So knowing where you're at on your profit share, knowing what's on your truck, loading the hard stuff first and not the garage. You know, a lot of guys go out there and see a pile in the garage and they only have 1 truck, so what do? They load up the garage and then stand there until the new truck gets there. You know, load the hard stuff, give them time to get you a truck, and then you load the easy stuff in the garage because you have an empty truck and you've already done the hard stuff. And it's a lot easier to do the hard stuff as opposed to doing it backwards, especially when it's hot as hell outside. And it was hot as hell yesterday. Where you do the garage, you get tired, then you stand there in the heat talking to the customer for 30 minutes waiting on a truck, and then you don't want to work. And then you have to re-engage yourself to go back to work, and that could take 10, 15 minutes. So knowing that, do the hard stuff first, make sure your truck's full, make sure you're hitting that revenue per hour, and it's always got to be in your head, you know. This takes an hour and it's negotiated. I need to know exactly how long it takes. So when you go out today, just look at the jobs as you're doing them. Because we get jobs every once in a while where you think it's going to take an hour, but it takes 3. But you're going to learn for the next time that, shit, I did a job like this the other day and it took 3 hours. When I call ops, I'm going to say, you know, I hope I could get it done in an hour, but it's really going to be 3. And they're going to negotiate that job based on what you tell them to make sure that you have the revenue per hour and you get your multipliers. So, you know, the negativity around an ops negotiated job shouldn't be there because they're trying to do what's best for you. They're trying to put money in your pocket. Every dollar that goes in your truck, you get a part of it, right? Yeah. So, you know, when you're out there, remember that. You know, if ops negotiates a job for you and closes it, thank them. They're going to thank you because it made the number go up for the day, right? Don't get mad. Don't be like, man, I just did a full truck for 200. I couldn't count how many full trucks I did for 200 on the curb, covered in crap. But I knew it was going to take an hour, and that's all it took, and I moved on to the next job. Thank God. But I still did them because it made more money for me. Doing it the right way, being sustainable. Always, you know, you could go out and do $5,000 in a day, but can you do it the next day? How did you get there? What was your sales per hour? Was it above standard? That make sense to everybody? Like I said, keep those sheets. You know, if you're in the wingman row, you want to be at the crew or certified sales leader row. You know, it goes up 10 to 20, 20 to 30. You know, $80 if you're a senior sales leader. You know, and then the multiplier difference. You know, you go 4, 6, and then when you get up to your first multiplier, it jumps from $6 every 100 to almost 11 or 12. So hitting those multipliers is important, but as well as the sales per hour and knowing where you're at, understanding how you got there, and understanding that ops is only negotiating jobs to make you better and to make money for you and the company. Because ultimately, before the company makes money, guess who gets paid? You guys. You know, we got the money in, but first and foremost, we want to pay you. That's why you're here. Nobody's here because they love us, but you love us because you're here, right? You know, everybody gets a job for a paycheck. I got a job for a paycheck. I've had plenty of paychecks in my life, lots of them, from lots of different places. But this one means a lot to me because Josh, Tyler, Aaron, myself, and everybody in the ops room wants you to have a paycheck too. So when you get out there and you get a negotiated job, don't shut down, take an extra time. Knock that shit out and go to the next one. Make that customer as happy as you can while you're there. You know, a negotiation, sometimes the customer's pissed just because they had to negotiate. How are you going to make them happy about it? Man, we did a great thing for you today, Aaron. You know, it was going to be $400. My boss allowed me to give you a little bit of a deal on it. We're going to do this 3/4 of a truck for $200. Knock this out and get you on with your day. You know, I know that, you know, negotiation is something that everybody likes to do, but at the end of the day, we still have to be able to come out here and help you. And the way we do that is by making money. You can understand that, right?
Absolutely.
You know, make them happy. Just give them a super sweep. Don't do a negotiated job for $200 and say, fuck you, I'm not sweeping your floor. Right? There's laughs because it's happened. Don't do a negotiated job for $200 and not ask them if you can move your couch. You know, always, no matter what it is, knock it out in a hurry, get on to the next job, get that 10 on a negotiation, and make sure that you're making your money. You know, there was something said that you don't control the money you make. I guarantee you do. And it's all about your mentality and how you talk to operations when they call and say, hey, we're going to do this job for $200. God darn it. Throw your phone in your pocket. You go over to the customer. Man, we're going to do this shit for $200. Let's go. It happens, right? I'm not going to say that, you know, it's easy to do those, but you have to understand that there's a reason why we do them. You know, our service is a premium service, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're going to take care of the people that call us the best as possible. And if that means having to do a job for a little less, we're going to do it to put the money in your pocket. Does that make sense to everybody?
Sir.
Thank you for your time. Running out of steam here.
What I want to talk about is the team perspective, right? Who the fuck Kansas City is, right? For those that don't know, when you look at the entire 1-800-GOT-JUNK system, right? 175 franchises, something like that, Dean. You guys in Kansas City on the year are in the top 5 as far as cancellation percentage. And I mean, you are well ahead of the big bad boys, Toronto, San Francisco, right, Jay? All the ones that get the credit for putting on revenue. Like, we are the grittiest, the best operating franchise because of you guys, man. And your willingness to close jobs on site. My philosophy with this was, trust me, like, you know, we were having these same operational phone calls for the past 8 years, right? Like, yeah, I know you guys have a great amount of pride when you get on site, Quinn, to close a job at full price, right? So when you get in a negotiation sometimes, what does it do to that pride? It hurts that pride a little bit, right? It hurts that pride because when you have to make that phone call to ops, what do you feel like?
You lost?
Yeah, you feel like you lost someone, correct? Now, my belief and our approach and what it's always been, I always thought about running my own business when I was in the trucks, right? When I was in your guys' shoes, I always thought about eventually, hopefully, one day running the Kansas City business. And my mentality was like, man, if this was my truck, what would I do this job for? I didn't want to walk away from anything. No junk left behind. We got all these nice little terms that we use all the time around here. My job, or my mentality was, man, how can I close this job? How can it benefit the team, the business at this point? My belief is always, Chuck, if I do a job for a negotiated rate for a customer, I say seeing is believing a lot, right? Now, what does that mean? Who can help me out with that? When I tell the customer seeing is believing, what does that mean?
See the value of your work.
Sometimes, until they see the work, Chuck, they don't really see the value, right, Devontae? And then they start seeing you busting your ass on site, Devontae, and they start saying, wow, this is worth the service. I didn't know what this was, right? So my commitment was always, hey, if I get a negotiated job, Derek, which I'm sure I sent you plenty of them full trucks for $200.
Right.
And we'd do it again right now if you went out, I promise you that. And I know you'd be willing to do it, man, because you're all about scaling the business and growing the business and making it better for everybody in here. My mentality was always like, man, I'm going to give this customer the best experience of their life. Yeah, negotiate a rate, big deal. I'm going to put this on the truck because I know the next time they call me my team, what's going to happen? They might do full price. I might give them a door hanger so they can get $25 or $50 off. But they said, like Derek said, nobody likes negotiating. Yeah, you get some weirdos every now and then that really get a sick joy out of it, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Josh loves that shit. He's really, really good at it. If you guys didn't know, he's the man when it comes to that. We should start having doing some certified sales leader customer training, man. That would be awesome. But hey, you got to know, hey, what I'm going to do right now is going to help us in the long run, help the business, help me as a business owner grow my business, right? If Quinn, if it was your truck and you pulled up, is there any way you're leaving that job without getting something on your pickup truck?
No.
Oh, damn. I'm sure everybody in here would say the same thing, right, Stanley? You're getting something on that damn truck, right? It's the same mentality, man. You are the business owner when you're running your route every single day, Logan. Do you know that? Every single day you control, like Derek says, what you put on your truck, man. That's awesome. You can control the paycheck, right? Some guys don't believe that. Some guys don't believe that. Seeing is believing. Until you start doing it at a high level, until you start maximizing every opportunity that ops throws your way. Yeah, sometimes you got to take it on the chin, that's all right. Because ultimately you're putting those steps forward to make you grow within the business. But it's got to be the belief. You got to have the belief, man. You got to have the belief that, hey, what I'm doing right now, even if it's a negotiated rate, I'm going to get a Google review, I'm going to get an NPS, and I'm going to win this customer for life that's going to come back and pay full price. The next time they use it. Right? Aaron Ferris, another quick story that I'll share with you guys. You guys know who Aaron Ferris is. He started in Kansas City, he ran the Reno Metro franchise, and now he moved over to Indianapolis and runs the Indianapolis franchise right now. He was in the trucks about 2-3 weeks, something like that, back when Derek was in the trucks. And he came to me after his first paycheck and he says, hey man, I can't do this shit. Like, I'm just not making any money. And I sat him down and I explained to him, I was like, Aaron, I'm going to teach you how to make profit share. I'm going to teach you how to maximize your stuff every single time. First and foremost, are you keeping track of your revenue number throughout the day? I fill it out at the end of the day. Okay. Big miss right there. Why is that? Because we don't know where we're at throughout the day. How many of you guys fill out your profit share sheets at the end of the day? Show of hands. Be honest. Be honest.
Oh, end of the day, no.
At the end of the day, right?
No, trick questions.
Right?
There should be a lot of hands.
We got to be filling them out. We got to know exactly where we're at to influence them, right? If you get into a negotiation at the end of the day, use that certified sales leader training, what we're telling you, to fight to give that customer the best price available, to know we've identified the value keys, to know that we put ourselves in a good spot to get them to say yes to the price that we deliver for them for what the service is worth. Sometimes, hey, that might not work. So we get in the negotiation protocol, right? Maybe you close it on step one, which is what? Somebody help me out. Oh, God, two-step priority. Step one, reestablish value. Customer says yes, you're still getting full price. Good job. High five, right? You're going to high five that all day. Step number two, what was it, Quinn? Priority items, right? Priority items, a variation of that might be rollover pricing. Still, we're getting this for full price, right, fellas? And we know if we're getting the priority items, what's there a good chance to get once the customer sees us loading up the stuff?
The rest.
The remainder of it. Does that make sense? Because seeing is believing sometimes. Jeff, you've been on a job where the customer starts seeing you do the priority items and then like, you know what, Jeff, this is too good, man. Load up the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's happened to everybody in this room. Still getting full price on that one. Working our way down, right? Third step, that golden ticket. What are you going to hand them? Coupon, $25, $50 off. Still not a major hit. You guys are willing to do that, right? Now we get into step 4, identifying the customer's budget. And then step 5, call to ops.
Can I add something on identifying the customer's
Please,
budget?
Johnny.
Everybody gets I've seen this every time we've done sales training. They get the customer's budget and then they call ops. They're only willing to spend this. If I'm looking at a full truck, $598, if their budget's $300, I'm gonna pull out that price sheet. All right, hey, for $300, I can take a third of the truck. You still don't have to sacrifice price yet, sacrifice. You just say, if your budget's $300, this is what I can do. Backdoor and back into priority items at that point. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. It's one more tool in your belt. You've just given the customer like the 7th option of ways to get rid of their junk for full price before you've called ops. Something I want to add in there.
Great point, great point. With you being saying that, we might need to reshuffle how we identify the budget, right? Maybe that step comes before we present the coupon. Because if we know their budget, we can offer those priority items a little closer to what they're willing to spend at that moment, right?
I was just gonna say, when it comes to their budgeted amount, that doesn't mean that that is the top amount that they're gonna pay. I mean, there's times that I've said, listen, as much as I want to do this for you for that price, my boss is going to tell me to come back for $350, and majority of the time I get it for $50 more. You know, just because they have that amount always means that they just have a little bit more that they can spend on it, that they are allowing themselves. But what they wanted to pay is what they're telling you right now. So it's just about going about it the right way.
Absolutely. Is this making sense, guys? All right, then that 5th final step, what are we doing? Who we calling? JD, Jason, Cody, Ops, Nick, AB, we're calling Ops. And we're giving them great information, right? We're letting them know, man, we busted our ass. We found out the value keys. Here's what the customer's looking at. This is why they want it. This is why they want this stuff removed. Hey, bottom dollar's this. Kind of thinking we can get them right around here. I've offered priority items. I've offered different variations, options to the customer, right? Give Ops that information to help them help you. Does that make sense? Now we're closing it as a team. Ops is going to help you, man. Whatever information you give them, the better. That's a better negotiation for them to ultimately close for you guys. But we got to be doing it as a team, man. You got to have that mentality, man. We're closing this thing. We're not walking away from this. We're getting this. Yeah, I know this is going to hurt my residential AJS, but you know what? This is the best thing for the team. I'm willing to take this one on the chin today to help the team out. There's no doubt about that. So we got to have that mentality. But you got to know where your profit share is at. Going back to the Aaron Ferris story. Know where your profit share is at for the day. Because if you know, hey, I can't go under 375 on this last one, you know, otherwise I'm going to dip down below my residential AJS. If you know that information, when I call JD, you think he's going to try to close that thing for anything less than 375? The answer is no, man, because he's going to fight for your ass every single time, right, JD? Yes, sir. If he doesn't get it close to 375, how's it going to make him feel? It's going to hurt his pride, right? It's going to hurt his pride, man, because we're in this together. He wants to take care of you guys, right? So we got to have that mentality. Aaron Ferris, he understood that after 2-3 weeks. He was willing to leave. He understood, all right, man, what I got to do every day, I just got to stay at work. I got to do as many jobs as possible until I hit 2 Gs every day. So that way I get a multiplier, and that way I'm going to see it in my paycheck. That's going to reflect over a 2-week period how well I did. So he understood that consistently. That dude wouldn't go home till he hit 2 Gs. Some days that was at noon, other days that was at 3. Some of those days it was at 5, 6. He's calling Nick, he's saying, hey, I might be a little late to dinner tonight. Put those BLTs in the fridge for me when I get home, right? But that was his mentality, man. That was his sacrifice. That was his commitment to take care of himself and in turn, taking care of the business as a whole. So he took that mentality upon himself to take care of what he needed to make his wife happy, make his family happy. And at the same time, you think about how his commitment to individual success helped out the team. Eventually, fast forward a few months, he went off and ran Reno and developed that mindset and mentality with the Reno staff, which I don't know if you guys know this right now. Reno is the top performer in all 1-800-GOT-JUNK. You know who's number 2? You guys. We need to catch Reno's ass. All right? We'll talk more about that in the future, but we need to catch Reno's ass. By the end of the year, we need to be the number 1 top performer. Do you guys believe Reno's better than you?
Hell yeah.
Let's try that again. You guys believe Reno's better than you?
We're better.
I appreciate the energy and enthusiasm, right? But hey, we got to be shooting for somebody, right? And that's who we're shooting for right now. But and the gist of it is, Aaron Ferris took what he learned as a truck team member and expanded it across an entire franchise. Who's the top performer? Josh, when people in Vancouver and Toronto and all those places that the junk has their headquarters, when they hear that Reno, Nevada is the number 1 franchise of 1-800-GOT-JUNK, what do they think?
They can't fucking believe it.
There is no way in hell that's supposed to happen.
No way.
You guys ever been to Reno?
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason why you've never been to fucking Reno. Okay? Now, those guys are doing it at a high level. Indianapolis, same thing. Aaron Ferris went to Indianapolis, same mentality, right? You know who runs operations out in Indianapolis? Lead operations manager, who is it? Gage Moss. Where did he start? Kansas City. So now they got a two-headed monster, man. Gage and Aaron Ferris. Same mentality. But Drew, how many negotiated jobs out of 10 did they have yesterday?
7.
70% of their jobs were negotiated. All right? What was the advice you gave them?
FMJ.
FMJ, find more junk opportunities. Get in there and do some scenario training for the guys, right? Let's correct those, because if we're getting into a negotiation, we could do what's necessary to correct those, right, Devontae? There's no doubt we could train that process. But the thing is, man, Gage and Ferris, their willingness to close those jobs and teach their team. What Gage said was, essentially after every job they closed, it was a celebration between the team. Truck team and operations, because guess what mode they're in right now, fellas? Indianapolis is in startup mode right now. Okay? They haven't been there for more than a year. They just started work in January. So they're still hungry. They're still pulling up with their pickup, figuratively speaking, pulling up with their pickup truck on site, not walking away from stuff, getting something on the job, getting their name out there. And it's always going to be startup mode out here, man, because a lot of times when you get to a customer's house, have they ever used the junk removal service? Have they ever heard? Do they ever know what we do? We're still educating the public, right, Roger? So educating the public. Sometimes we're going to take them on the chin, man, but that's all right. Because we know we're making a customer for life, and we're going to come back and we're going to revisit that, and they're going to be willing to pay us full price because they just want you on site, Chuck. They just want to talk to you some more because you're the best in the business when you get out there and help them out. All right, we're going to go cancel free, fellas. All right, cancel free, on site, cancel free. Call ahead. We're going to fight for everything getting on site. We're going to go cancel free today, and we're going to make sure at the end of the day, everybody's SPH is above what? 85. 85, where it needs to be. Because Derek let us know earlier how that's going to benefit us. So we're going to help the team out by going cancel free. We're going to help ourselves out by pushing it and making sure we're getting above that SPH. Can you guys deliver that today?
Sir.
I'm looking around the room, man. We're more than capable. We called a few guys off today, right? Or staggered some guys?
Oh, yes, staggered a lot.
Who did we make sure was in the room this morning?
People that are going to make that sales per hour, obviously.
People that are going to do the work when you guys get out there. I believe in you guys. I know it's capable. Stokes, your legs twitching over there. You ready to go, aren't you? Ready to go. Hey, let's get after it today, fellas. We're coming for that number 1 spot, man. You guys happy being number 2?
No, fuck no.
What did Ricky Bobby say? Number 2 is what? First. Okay, first your last, man. All right? So, hey, let's get after it, man. Great shout outs this morning for these guys. Let's give it a clap.
1, 3. 1, 2, 3. Jump!